everyone. Welcome back to another week of Nexus Grain Market Updates. It is Tuesday morning, the 7th of April at 20 after 9 in the morning. I hope all of you had a great Easter holiday. Let's get to the markets. I am at $4.13 for a bushel of old crop corn. That price is steady across my terminals right now. New crop corn at the moment is $4.43, also steady from yesterday. Soybeans are up 2 pennies, ranging 10.86 to 10.91. Across the terminals, up a couple of pennies. And new crop beans are up about a penny and a half at 10.83 to 10.88 across those same terminals. Look at those prices this morning compared to 2 weeks ago. Price of corn right now is off about 7 cents from a couple of weeks ago. We're steady on the 30-day period of a month. Soybeans up considerably in the past 2 weeks. We're up about 25 cents in the past 2 weeks for old, 14 cents for new beans. And old beans are down about 30 cents on the month. New beans are up about a nickel. So have quite a little bit of activity had gone on earlier with the soybean spreads, old crop to new crop. That seems to have settled down considerably. When I really look out here at the board spreads, the market is doing its job with bidding a reasonable carry for corn. Right now I've got May corn trading at 4.53. Get out there to the D's, I'm 4.83 for new crop for the December futures month. Soybeans, really, we have a pretty decent little carry between old crop today and old crop into August, 1168 to about 1180. As you get into August, falls off to 1158. We get into that new crop slot. Obviously, the bean market is inverted, expecting a little pressure on our old crop stocks to get us into new crop. And then presumably a fairly large bean crop coming on versus last year. So let's get to the export sales report and stick with the S&Ds here for a minute. And I have some interesting charts I want to show everybody of a demonstration of what's really driving things. The export summary from yesterday, corn, exceptionally good number. I'm sure you've heard this by now, 78.8 million bushels exported out of the country. We have 21 weeks remaining in our export season, so there's plenty of time to make adjustments to get to the finish line. Right now we're about 9% above pace, on track to ship about 3.6 million bushels of billion bushels of corn out of the country for a new crop, or excuse me, for an export season for corn. Soybeans, again, much the same as I've showed you in the past. 28.6 million bushels of corn, or excuse me, soybeans went out of the country. That was above the trade range of 14.7 to 27.6. We are still 11% below pace to hit our 1,575,000,000 export. We're on track right now for about 1,400,000,000. So there's some room for improvement yet, again, in the soybean market. Again, just to summarize, our corn versus our soybeans. Our number one corn customer, Mexico, year to date, we've shipped them 568 million bushels compared to 472 last year. Again, to belabor the soybean market, our number one customer for soybeans would be China. So far this year, we've shipped them 344 million compared to 800 of last year. All right. The second story, export sales numbers. Again, that number was published last week. Reported on the 2nd as of the 26th of March. These numbers are somewhat dated, and again, these are merely sales numbers, subject to cancellation. Corn number was pretty good, and these are in thousands of tons, 1,149. for old crop, 102 for new crop. Both those were within the previous week's target and well within the range, so not a lot of news there. With soybeans, about the same thing, 353 for old, no new sales, and that was about what was expected. So not a lot to talk about there. What we do have to talk about, and we have a considerable amount to talk about, is the news in the soybean market. What is really going on with our soybeans right now is really a story of petroleum crude oil. I'm going to show you a slide right now. Figure number 1 is this is an index chart, and I use these quite a bit when I do my own analytics. What you're looking at, the black line represents light crude oil traded in New York. Call it the orange line represents soybean oil. We started out on May 1 of 25, and as you can see, these two energy derivatives, arguably oil, only about half of oil, soybean oil is an energy derivative, but these two track fairly well. That was true up until about 30 days ago. 30 days ago, crude oil, petroleum crude oil, took off and ran. Right now, over the period of time since the 1st of May to today, as an index, I have petroleum crude up about 56% and soybean oil up about 42%. So what had been the leader for 10 months, what had been the leader by several percentage points, has flipped. And that has really got behind our soybean market. I'm going to go to the next slide. Slide number 2 is a zoom in of the first one, and that actually picks it up on January 1. Very good representation. There it is, the first week of March. We took off and ran. Since the 1st of March, that's where really all the activities occurred. I've got petroleum crude up about 60%, and crude soybean oil up just shy of 40%. So all the activity has occurred in the last 30 days. When I go to my soybean market, between the renewable fuel standard, the RVO, plus the market for petroleum crude oil, I've got May board crush right now. Closed last night at $2.22. That was up 19 cents in the past 5 days. Since the 1st of January, the value of that crush has increased twofold. Started out at about $1.48, and right now we're just a tick around $3. That is a market that has absolutely gone through the roof. I am going to be very interested to see what occurs next week when NOPA publishes their numbers on the 15th. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to see certainly another record crush for the month of March. March is a big month coming off of the short month. So really that's the story of crude oil and soybeans and soybean crush. The last thing I want to show everybody, slide number 3, is this just came out a little bit ago. On the 9th, coming up, we have a crop production report. There'll be our April NAS report, April WASDE report. And really, I don't see a whole lot of changes there either. We're penciling in average trade estimate of 2.128 corn carryout, 349 bean carryout. Corn, with the pace of corn that we're on right now, that number doesn't check out too bad. When we plug in last month's number, export number of 3.3, we're coming up with 2.127. Again, we could bump our exports to the point where I'm showing everybody right now another 300 million bushels of corn, and simply we'll just peel that off of our probably our feed demand at the end of the year. I really don't see anything remarkable about this corn number. Soybeans could be subject to a little greater argument. 349 million bushels of soybeans carry out. We're going to have to step on the pedal and get some more beans out of this country if we're going to see that type of a carry out, because there really is no feed market for soybeans, of course. So that's my comments there. It's really about it. Planting dates are coming up, but as we all know, our 6 to 10, 8 to 14 day temperature and precip maps are both showing a considerable amount of precip that we're going to be experiencing, which is not particularly unseasonable for April. But certainly we had a good 2 to 3 inches of rain cover the state of Iowa in the past 5 days. We're wet right now. It's going to be another week to 10 days at least before we start getting back in the field, depending on what we have again for rain again going forward. Temperature-wise, yeah, temperature, it's springtime, things are warming up. It's time to get those lawnmowers greased up and fueled and ready to go. The last bit of it that I want to share with you, we are doing a study here in the grain group. Talk a little bit more. I'm going to mention the Nexus app. Again, it is a function of e-commerce. When I first got in this business, there was no such thing as e-commerce. We certainly have that today, and we encourage the use of it. We have a considerable amount of customers that are using the app. I encourage you to dig deeper into that. It's a very, very feature-rich instrument. And don't be surprised if you are a customer that's not using the app, that a merchant would knock on your door. We are doing a study determining who's using, who's not, who we are getting for grain business, who would be a good candidate for maybe perhaps some coaching. So don't be alarmed if somebody reaches out to you from the company and wants to talk about the app. We're here for you. Certainly not going to impose this on anyone, but it is as I say, it is a very, very feature-rich, very powerful instrument. We want everyone to have full benefit of that. With that said, we appreciate all of your business here at Nexus. I thank you very much. Be careful out there because we want to see you back. And with that, have a good week. Bye now.